All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're diving into a really complex neurological puzzle, one that affects millions of people, but, it's so often misunderstood or even confused with other conditions. We're going to demystify multiple sclerosis.
The best way to really get a grip on what makes MS tick is to see it in context. So, we're going to start with one single question. And this question is key because it helps draw a really clear line, not just around what MS is, but maybe even more importantly, what it isn't.
Okay, so here's the question. It asks about the pathophysiology, which, look, it's just a fancy way of asking what's the root cause of the disease of multiple sclerosis. We've got four options here. Now, each one of these describes a really serious condition, but only one of them actually nails what happens in MS. So our goal here isn't just to get the right answer, right? It's to figure out why the other answers are wrong, because they describe totally different challenges for the brain and body.
All right, let's get right into it. No reason to wait around. We're going to jump straight to the answer, and then we'll unpack what it all means.
So the correct answer is B. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune attack on myelin. But what on earth does that actually mean? Let's break it down. Okay, so picture this. Your whole nervous system, we're talking brain, spinal cord, the whole shebang, it's like a giant, super complex electrical grid. Each nerve cell, or neuron, is like a single wire. And the myelin sheath, that's the plastic insulation coating the wire, protecting it. Now, in MS, the body's immune system gets confused. It completely messes up and sees that myelin insulation as some kind of foreign invader. So it creates these things called autoantibodies to go on the attack and just destroy it. So what happens when the insulation on a wire gets stripped away or frayed? You get a short circuit, right? The signal just doesn't get through properly. And this is exactly why MS can cause such a massive range of symptoms. I mean, think about it. Depending on which wires in the system are getting damaged, you could have problems with anything. Muscle weakness, weird sensations like pain or touch, your coordination could be off, even your speech. It's a system-wide wiring problem. Okay, so we have a pretty clear picture of MS now, right? It's this autoimmune attack on nerve insulation. Well, one of the best ways to really lock that knowledge in is to look at what it's not. So let's go back to those other options from our question and do a little process of elimination. Right, so we've established that MS is an autoimmune attack on that nerve insulation. So what about those other conditions? What are they all about? Let's take them one by one. Okay, first up, Parkinson's disease. The difference here is absolutely fundamental. See, Parkinson's isn't a problem with the wiring itself. It's more like a factory problem. There's this one specific part of the brain called the substantia nigra, and its job is to produce a really important chemical, dopamine. Well, in Parkinson's, that factory just starts to shut down. So you see the difference? One is a chemical production issue in one spot. MS is a widespread attack on the physical structure of the wiring all over the place. All right, next on the list, muscular dystrophy, or MD. Now with this one, the problem isn't even in the nervous system at all. The root cause is actually in the muscles themselves. It's a genetic disorder. That means the actual DNA blueprint for building strong muscle cells is flawed, right from birth. The cells end up being weak and fragile, but with MS, the muscles themselves start out perfectly fine. The problem is with the nerves that are supposed to be sending them the signals. And last up, we have trigeminal neuralgia. With this one, it all comes down to two things, scope and cause. It is super, super localized. It affects just one specific nerve, the trigeminal nerve in the face. And the cause is often totally physical. Imagine an artery just bumping up against that nerve over and over and over, literally scraping away that myelin insulation. That creates an incredibly painful, localized short circuit. So again, a world away from the widespread body attacking itself process you see in MS. Okay, so we've looked at them individually. Now let's pull the camera back and see the whole big picture. We're going to put all four of these conditions right next to each other. Yeah, this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? It makes the differences just crystal clear. Just look down that core problem column. What do you see? Four completely different origins. You've got an autoimmune attack, a factory production failure, a genetic blueprint defect, and a localized physical irritation. And of course, because the root causes are so different, it makes total sense that they lead to very different sets of symptoms.
So this all brings us to what is maybe the most important part of this whole thing. We've done a good job of separating these conditions, right? But why does this matter so much? Why is this so incredibly critical in the real world?
Okay, here's the bottom line. Each one of these conditions has a totally unique origin story, and because of that, each one needs a completely different playbook for treatment and management. You just can't treat a genetic problem the same way you treat an autoimmune problem. You can't fix a physical irritation with a drug that's designed to replace a missing brain chemical. It just doesn't work that way. That initial diagnosis, it dictates literally everything that comes next.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with, understanding the fundamental what and the why behind these symptoms. I mean, this isn't just some academic exercise. For someone who is actually going through this, getting that diagnosis right, getting it right the first time, is the single most critical step. It's the first step towards getting the right treatment and ultimately a better quality of life. Thanks so much for joining me.